If you had kids, would you send them to that school or that school?
Okay, well, we're here in between two schools. They're both rated relatively good by Ofsted. So on that response, yes, I would. My overall concern, if I was sending kids to school, wouldn't be what's the air pollution like. It would be what's the quality of teaching like. Of course I supported that campaign to reduce air pollution. Who wouldn't? I mean, what person in their right mind would not support it?
You support the development of a third runway?
Yes, I support an increased capacity at Heathrow. I do accept that there may be an increase in traffic on the roads, but we must work at ways how to reduce the impact, and that could be, ensuring that all vehicles that use at Heathrow, such as buses, are electric. There are things that can be done. So, but
there's going to be a lot of motorists going there, aren't there? And they're going to be going along the M4 and the A4. So again, you're saying that for the sandwich makers in Feltham, you say the kids are going to have more serious asthma. People in Brentford are going to have to suffer more from nitrogen dioxide. People are going to have to, that very high death rate which comes from nitrogen dioxide is going to be leading to increased deaths in Brentford.
Yeah, I'm not
you're saying Brentford has to pay the price for the sandwich makers in Feltham.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm not saying that Brentford has to pay the price for increased traffic and therefore pollution. The question is this: do we need to expand aviation capacity in the United Kingdom? And I think the overall, the overall view from most people is yes, we do. We need to increase capacity desperately. So is it a question of those people who say not on our back door? Is it just I'm okay Jack, those kids can go off and die in Gatwick as an example? Well, I'm sorry, that argument just simply doesn't wash with me, because there's so many people who are just so selfish, and it's like not on my, I don't want my property to be valued, I don't want to hear put up these noise, those people over in Gatwick can go and die or whatever. I'm sorry, people are people. If there has to be an increase in aviation capacity in this country, well, there's going to be an impact somewhere. So the question isn't.
Brentford.
Well, the question.
Brentford will be sacrificed on
It's not
the
been sacrificed at all.
altar of aviation development. That's what you're saying.
No, it's not been sacrificed at all. What we want to do is harness the benefits of an expanded Heathrow. There are things that can be done to reduce pollution.
It ain't going to stop this, is it? Nitrogen dioxide pouring off there and pouring off there and hitting the kids here.
Well, let me give you...
You're simply saying they have to be sacrificed.
I'm not saying that at all. Let me give you an example of what can be done. So here we have a motorway. Now, there's clearly no way you can plant trees growing in the air, but you can invest in carbon monoxide and nitrogen monoxide absorbing concrete.
$6,000 people die a year from nitrogen dioxide in London. Mm-hmm. That's the equivalent of a jumbo jet crashing on Heathrow every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You find that you seem rather complacent about
No, I'm not complacent at all. I mean, I would perhaps challenge those figures. The figures basically say that there are a number of deaths that are potentially attributable to higher levels of pollution, and these aren't genuinely healthy people who suddenly fall down dead. They're people who suffer from pre-existing conditions such as asthma, and if you suffer from acute asthma and you live in an area of high pollution, then yes, it will aggravate it. So yes, pollution may be a factor, but pollution...
They reduce life expectancy. Those figures suggest that they reduce life expectancy by on average 10 years.
Yeah, well, I mean...
so you die at 60 instead of 70?
I mean, as I said, it is generally not healthy people. But hey, let's be clear, we do need to do more to reduce air pollution. I think simply by saying, isn't it bad, isn't it awful, is not really going to do much, because we all accept that it's bad. We all accept that it would be great if there's no pollution. But even though we say let's reduce it, we're still using our cars. So we all have to take responsibility. We can't say it's someone else's fault. It's someone else's fault. It's the government's fault. Well, it's all our fault.
So you're saying the child who's got asthma there has to take responsibility for having the asthma and having it get worse?
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Well, you're saying we all have to take responsibility. So the child who's got asthma has to take responsibility for its own asthma?
No. Well, firstly,
well, who does take responsibility for that child? You're not, obviously not doing so, are you?
Well, no, the parents have to take responsibility.
Well, they don't have a choice but to send the child to a school. Somebody has to go to that school.
Yeah.
And the child is the one that suffers, not you, not the parent. And will suffer for the rest of its life, and will probably have a reduced life expectancy.
Look, as I've said, we don't want to have, anywhere in our cities or towns where we have high pollution, and we must work to reduce it.
But that child didn't cause it, did it?
Of course not, and we must work to reduce it.
But what do you say to that child and to the future of that child? What are you saying? It's got to put up with being more ill, more sick, dying earlier because you're complacent about air pollution.
That is not what I'm saying at all, and I'm not complacent. I think we have to have a little bit of realism into this.
What, the child should be more realistic when they're sitting at home gasping for breath?
If you stop putting words into my mouth and I'll answer the question, you're saying is what's this all about? You're asking what's this all about and what's your view? I am saying it is not a good thing that we have air pollution at the levels such as next to this motorway. But I'm also saying,
which is made worse.
But I'm also saying it is no surprise that we have greater levels of air pollution in rush hour periods at the junction of two of the busiest roads in London. So let's not go around scaremongering people that, oh my God,
so
West London is a pollution trap, because it just simply isn't.
Is this scaremongering?
Now this is, you've chosen an area here where two major roads meet. Okay, so you must accept that there's going to be high pollutions. Now we need to protect our children and the vulnerable people and people who have respiratory illnesses, and perhaps we should look to move schools away from junctions like this to nicer green areas, places like Boston Manor. Well, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we need to protect vulnerable people, and if
but
we
you're
can't,
doing nothing. You're just saying that the child. If I was a little child here, I just got to put up with it. I've got to take the asthma and be ill and have reduced life expectancy. That's what you're saying.
What's your question?
Well, that's what you're saying.
Well, no, you're telling me what I'm saying now.
Well,
if you ask me the question, I'll answer you.
Are you saying that this child just has to accept he's going to be weak, ill, sick, in hospital, suffering from this? That's just the price that child has to pay for everybody else going about in cars for the way we live now.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Well, it sounded like it.
No, I'm saying we have to. What I'm saying is firstly,
what are you going to do for that child?
What I'm saying firstly is stop scaremongering. It is no surprise that we have high air pollution here. Okay, we are next to two very, very busy roads.
The traffic is bad now, and the pollution is bad now. It can only get worse if they decide to build a third runway at Heathrow, because this is through traffic. It's not stopping in Brentford, it's going west, it's going to Heathrow, it's going beyond. Pollution
levels here are 5 times the EU legal level. What's your view on that?
Well, they're not constantly 5 times their legal level. It spikes at rush hour times, as to be expected. The real issue here is government needs to decide how it's going to get people either out of their cars or into greener, cleaner transport.
How much would the figures for deaths go up?
The nitrogen dioxide levels double, then I mean, again, you can't generalise, but it will certainly go up. There's no question about that.